This episode of SpectreSoundStudios is brought to you by DistroKid. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to SMG Viewers Comments, episode number 113. We're posting on a slightly different day because I had that very special release last Friday for the Torpedo Captor. Many thanks to Mr. Cam Fleury and on loan from the band Oni, Mr. Brandon White. Oni's going to be on tour all across the world this year. Make sure you check them out when you get the chance. Anyway, let's get right to it.
Hey Glenn, I record all my studio projects at 24 bits, 48 kilohertz. But would you know if recording at 96 kilohertz makes a difference at all, especially when reamping guitars? Is it worth all the files taking twice the disk space? Another question comes to mind. How do you archive your studio project's individual files? CD, DVD, SD card, USB keys, portable hard drives, online storage? Thanks.
Not touching that one with a 10-foot pole. Seriously, I usually record at 24-bit, 44.1 kilohertz. I think I've done one high-resolution project, and that was like 88.2. And I don't know, maybe it was a little easier to mix, maybe it wasn't, I don't know. I don't do 96 kilohertz because it doesn't make proper math for getting down to CD quality at 44.1. Is there something more going on there? Possibly. Maybe those extra high overtones past the human spectrum of hearing affect the lower ones. There's a great debate on it. Whether or not it's going to make you a better record, it's kind of anybody's guess. If you want to explore that subject further, I highly recommend going and checking out a few threads on Gear Sluts because they love talking about that shit. I'm kind of more about, hey, let's get the bass player to remember his fucking parts and shit like that. As for the archiving thing, I used to burn CD after CD and then DVD after DVD after DVD. These days, I just kind of throw all my stuff onto portable hard drives. I've got about 7 of them in a filing cabinet, and that takes care of things pretty well. All my hard drives still work, so yeah, hey, you know what? Great. But I've got an archive going all the way back to like 97, so I've just got stacks and stacks and stacks of, CDRs and DVDRs and that kind of thing. So yeah, I kind of like the portable hard drive thing. But then again, yeah, the USB sticks, that's pretty cool too. I haven't actually thought about backing up to that, but considering you can get 64 and 128 gig sticks for not very much money these days, it might be a very practical solution.
Vintage 30 great, but how roadworthy is the cab?
Well, if you're in a gigging band and you want to take one of those little Harley Benton 1x12s on the road, that's totally cool, but you're probably making money, so if you break one, it's not going to cost a fortune to replace. Not like, say, one of the Mesa 2x12s or something like that. Even a Harley Benton 2x12 isn't going to cost you that much, and it's still going to be, you could probably buy 3 of them for the price of a Mesa 2x12. So keep that in mind. That's kind of like what we were talking about with the PV Windsor. They're not necessarily the greatest amp in the world, but they are pretty damn good. And if you break one on the road, it's not a lot of money to replace. So that is a major bonus right there.
Bassist who works in fine dining. Fuck greasy burgers. May I interest you in some hummus and pita or a fine tuna tartare? Metal.
No, not really. I prefer the flesh of dead animals. Tuna, tuna, fish in a can, no thanks. Maybe fresh, I don't know. Not really my thing. Honestly, dude, there's absolutely nothing wrong with flipping burgers. In fact, when I'm in LA, I always make sure to do a fan meetup at my favorite burger joint in Los Angeles, Gorilla Mall, which is like a heavy metal themed burger joint. Believe me, when it comes to food, I've got pretty simple tastes. Mexican burgers, Italian, Chinese, Korean, Thai, Japanese, fuck, whatever, man. I'm pretty much game for anything, but I just don't necessarily need a fine dining experience. I work for a living. Hey everybody, this episode is proudly sponsored by DistroKid. DistroKid is the service that gets your music out to multiple online retailers like iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, and Spotify, plus over 150 smaller online music retailers as well, saving you the headache. It only costs $20 a year, and you can keep 100% of your earnings. And they've got new features including Leave a Legacy, which will keep your music up on the stores even if you cancel your membership. The new Teams feature allows you to split your earnings automatically among your bandmates, and it's super easy to set up. If you're into doing cover songs, DistroKid will also get you a license for the song for only $12 a year. DistroKid is what I use for my own stuff, and if you've got a band, I highly recommend grabbing a membership. You can check it out at distrokid.com/VIP/Spectre and get yourself a 7% discount as well. Follow the link in the description below. Back to the show.
Did you ever check your intro music on a car stereo? Because on surround sound, it sounds pretty crappy.
That's actually a great question. My mixes are designed for stereo, not surround sound. So if you've got a surround sound unit, turn it off. Just down mix it to stereo. It's real simple. Just undo that. A lot of modern stereos will get a 2-channel mix, and we'll see that and automatically down mix into stereo. Maybe yours can't do that. I don't know. I noticed that used to be a real problem, like late 90s, early 2000s. A lot of kids would bring their mixes home like, well, it sounds like shit on surround sound. Well, listen to your Metallica record. Oh yeah, that kind of sounds shitty too. Yeah, a lot of metal mixes aren't really designed for surround sound. Surround is for movies, you know. You might find a 5.1 audio CD every now and then, but yeah, I just mix to stereo, so play back on a format that it's designed for.
Glenn, where shall I go if I want lessons from you on working on tracking guitars?
That's a damn fine question. Actually, I'm working on some premium tutorials right now, and I've got one that's going to be coming up on guitars. It's going to be all about recording guitars, mic placement, mic choices, you name it, and it's probably going to be about 3 hours long. I will keep you guys posted. It's going to take some time, but I think I've got some time coming up in October that I'm really going to be able to put in and work on this and give you guys just basically everything I've learned over the last 20 years when it comes to recording metal guitars. Thanks so much for asking. I will be sure to let you guys know as soon as that's available. In the meanwhile, just check out my video series, How to Record Heavy Guitar. It's kind of a basic outline, and there's like 3 or 4 episodes in there, and it kind of covers some of the fundamentals. Check it out. I'll put some links in the description below.
M Audio Delta 1010. It's what I have. I used a Sound Blaster 16 back in the day. This is what I have now. Use, replace, as I said. It's what I have. Glenn, honest answer, only the interface. Use or replace.
You know, I did a lot of work on a pair of Delta 1010s. I mean, a lot of work, and they were fine. You know, there's nothing wrong with them. They were definitely better than the 8-ats of the 90s, that's for sure. Are they as high resolution as, say, like the RME Fireface UFX I got back here, which is fucking magnificent? No, not even close. But the Delta 1010s are great. My question is, what's your application? Are you recording yourself, or are you recording clients that demand high resolution audio? If you're recording yourself and you're happy with the sound coming out, don't worry about it. You're probably better off putting your money into something a little more practical, like acoustic treatment for your listening environment, or better monitors or something like that. The simple truth of the matter is, you know, even the humble Behringer ADA-8000 is a fucking amazing piece of gear. I've heard some truly outstanding mixes done on that, and those are dirt fucking cheap. So it's not your converters, it's probably your mix room.
So for you, the total actually ended up being $225 US in Canada. I'm not sure what it'd be for me in the US, but if it ends up being the same price of $225, isn't there some better options? I mean, the Laney Cub cab is only 2x12, only $199 with free shipping to the US at least. Granted, the Cub has a selection of Rocket 50s, not vintage 30s, but would the 2x12 not be the better option anyway? You need to stay with the 1x12, the $185 to $225 price point, which is what the cab ends up costing people in North America. It has several options. There's your Jet City, VHE, Fender, and Ibanez, all of which offer the 1x12 at that price. I guess I'm just trying to see what benefit you have to ordering this over something else if we aren't getting that $127 price point after the added...
That kind of goes on and on and on. Here's why. Because none of those cabinets have a vintage 30! None! You can start getting into vintage 30 cabs, it starts being, you know, $300, $400, that sort of thing. None of those cabinets have a vintage 30, and that is my absolute first choice for recording metal tones. Okay, when it comes to metal tones, there's like vintage 30s, and then there's everything else. You know, greenbacks are pretty cool, GT 100s are pretty cool. Some of the WGS speakers are actually not fucking bad at all. There's some of the rev cab, they're really good, but when it comes to metal, first choice is a vintage 30, and that is the cheapest vintage 30 cabinet I have been able to find anywhere. Nobody has been able to match that price anywhere.
When a band comes in the studio and uses your guitars, do you let them change the strings on the guitar to the strings that they like?
Wow, you know, I've never heard that. I've never even had that requested in here. I've got all kinds of guitars on the walls and whatnot, and I get kids asking me all the time, you know, hey, do you mind if I play it? I'm like, yeah, if it's on the wall, it's there to be used. Go for it. You know, just pick it up and play. If they come in and use one of my guitars in the studio, we might put new strings on if they find one that they really like, and, you know, maybe we'll use a set that they like, but generally I've got enough variation in, like, you know, string gauges and that kind of stuff, or it's a 6-string or it's a 7-string, they can just pick something up they like the feel of and away they go. I don't think anybody's ever been quite that anal that they demand that they use their specific string brand. That being said, I'm very happy when a guitar player shows up and their guitar's intonated correctly for the tuning that they're in, and they put on fresh strings. That always makes things go real smooth.
You, sir, can have a giant cup and shut the fuck up. Glenn, please put that on a shirt. If you do, I'll buy the absolute crap out of it.
Ask and you shall receive. Available today in the SMG shop. It's you, sir, can have a giant cup and shut the fuck up.
Any advice when looking for studio monitors?
Yeah, don't spend all that much. Worry about your acoustics in your control room first. Spend all your money on bass traps and wall treatments and that sort of thing, because even a cheap set of monitors with a couple $100 in acoustic treatment is going to work way better than, $10,000 set of monitors in a room with no acoustic treatment. I know the acoustic treatment isn't glamorous. It doesn't light up. It doesn't look super cool. Although Alex's studio in Burbank, the Alex from Gear Guys, that is, his control room's looking pretty damn fine, I gotta admit. Seriously, your priority should be your acoustic treatment, not your monitors.
Holy shit, TJ's bass player. A real Beauty and the Beast pick there. Kinda wanna touch her butt with my thumb.
Yeah, and have fun trying to walk away after she kicks your ass.
I clicked on the video, saw his hair, and laughed.
Congratulations, what an achievement. You can expect your Nobel Prize in the mail.
Glenn, I've been watching your channel for just over 2 years now. I would love to see some behind-the-scenes stuff of the actual process of you setting up to record guitars for someone, like how some bands do the making-of documentaries for their albums. I love those sorts of things.
Ask and you shall receive. I'm actually working, getting all my ducks in a row right now, actually. We're going to be working this fall with the band Protocult. And we're going to be going into a major Toronto studio, and yeah, there will be some behind-the-scenes stuff going on there. And it's going to be like a downloadable lesson, mixed breakdown, multi-tracks, all kinds of cool stuff. For one of the songs you hear as my background music all the time, because I always get a lot of people asking, hey, what's that song? What's that song? So we're going to do a lesson on it, so you can look forward to that. That will be coming sometime probably November, I'm thinking. I'll let you guys know for sure.
An idea for a tutorial I'd like to do. Mixing drums and bass for idiots, not involving a fuckload of plugins/hassle, but just balancing EQ tutorial. In my opinion, it is the most important basis for everything else. Thus, if drums and bass sound like a fucking mess, the rest of the mix is already fucked.
Ask and you shall receive. I've been working on exactly that. I can't let you know what that is precisely at the moment, but I do have a lesson coming out. It's about 2.5 hours long. I just finished shooting it the other night, and it's going to get into exactly that sort of thing where you've got a killer drummer and you got a killer bass player and everything just locks in and it's fucking amazing. And you can just see how easy everything fits together because there's that rock solid foundation and everything's mic'd right and everything just sounds good right off the get-go. And it's just all minor tweaks and moves, not a lot of, Anyway, I detail the whole mix and it's going to be fucking amazing. Stay tuned for that. I can't wait to let you guys know what's going on with that. It's just being edited right now. Stay tuned.
Hi, Glenn. I was busy getting stoned and missed the live stream. Fuck! But I have a few questions about double tracking live drums. Have you tried this method before, and why isn't this technique more popular? Thanks.
Double tracking live drums, you mean like doing 2 sets of drums? Because they'd probably be all over the place. I've done a couple things, I remember doing one song, we had this great big drum buildup, so we had 4 guys with floor toms, and everybody's just pounding away. That's a lot of fun. I've also done a case, on a simpler song where we tracked the drums and the cymbals separately. We had the drummer actually play the drums on one take and then play the cymbals on another take. And that way we can just crank this shit out of the room mics. With simpler songs and a great drummer, you can pull it off and it does sound really cool. But if you're talking about actually having, the drummer play the song twice and then panning them or something like that, it's just going to sound too flammy because nobody's that good.
What's your take on the Kemper? Powered and non-powered heads. What's your recommendations and thoughts?
You can check out my video, Kemper versus the Real Deal, where I kind of go through it. As far as the digital amp sims go, it's probably my favorite. It really does do a pretty damn fine job, I gotta say. I was backstage at a Shinedown show a few years ago, and In This Moment was opening up for them. And yeah, those guys are all playing Kempers and whatnot. And most of the bands actually on that whole festival were all playing Kempers and Axe Effects. It's just because they don't break, and if they do, it's like you can put another one in there, and you got this huge palette of stuff. And honestly, nobody in the audience is ever gonna fucking notice. But like I said, I gotta say, go with the Kemper. Yeah, it's pretty fucking amazing. All right, everybody, thanks so much for watching. I want to thank our sponsor, DistroKid. Big supporter of those guys. They're a huge help to the online music community. Make sure you check them out. Make sure you get that discount. Also want to let you guys know I'm just about finished my acoustic drums for metal guide. That's a free download if you sign up for my newsletter. The link is in the description below. Make sure you get on for that. We're going to have a lot more downloadable mixing guides and recording guides coming out later this year, and I want to make sure you guys get hold of them. All you got to do is sign up for my newsletter. Anyway, thanks again. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing, and if you haven't, please consider it. It's a huge help to the show. I'll see you guys next week. Take it easy.